Okay, there we go. And again, thanks again for taking the time. And what I'd like to do is I'm going to cover some bullet points to start with. It's kind of an overview of exactly what you have now at hand. And then we're going to go to the functionality of your application website. And then I'm going to go through some timeline expectations and some examples that I think that you can relate to where we're having success with other contractors as well and where we excel. Okay. So let me start with really what our goals are. And you got to bear with me. I'm working through a head cold right now. But the goals to this platform obviously are to increase approvals dramatically. You now have an easy online application process, which I'm going to show you, as well as easy online loan acceptance for the homeowner. There's no printing or faxing of documents. We do all of this for you. This is much more hand-holding, more personal service involved with your homeowners. We get a lot of compliments about this on how well received and how easy this process was. And that's a feather in our hat. Obviously, where we excel is converting previously declined clients into approvals, as much as 40%. We also give you the ability to combine loan offers. Your homeowner, that is, may get more than one loan offer to choose from. And I'm going to show you some examples of what your back office is going to look like as well, and what some of these notes are going to look like from the banks. Okay. Now, you do have a diversified consumer financing platform now. It's one of a kind. This is a unique software technology, excuse me, where it's the same universal collection of data that is processed by all of our participating lenders. These are national lenders, names you know, Citibank, Discover Financial, Barclays, and major regional banks as well that are processing these applicants. This is going to expand the approval opportunity dramatically. Again, the logic behind this, why have one restrictive option if you can have a collection of banks processing the same applicant? This was really specifically designed to compete against the programs that are offered by Wells Fargo and GE Capital. They only want the A creditworthy. Now you've got a program that goes way beyond that. The A, the B, and even the C creditworthy can be processed and approved. We eliminate the percentages that are withheld that our competition typically charges. It's not uncommon that the charges are anywhere from 5 to 15.9% that's withheld by our competition. We don't do that. We manage this whole process a lot differently. And that's what we're excited to share with you. This is going to grow your revenues and reduce costs at the same time. So now what I'd like to go to is your application page that we've put for you. And basically, you'll see up here in this domain, it says darlingtonconstruction.mygoqualifyme.com. You don't have to take any notes because I'll be sending this to you following this demonstration today. Okay?
All right. Now, I have to stop you there just 1 second. Yeah. There is a Darlington Construction up in Canada, and so we've been battling for years with them as far as, you know, getting emails and stuff like that. So,
oh boy,
we've got Darlington Construction MN as in Minnesota. So I don't know.
I think this is you though, right?
Yep, that's me. But when you type it in, you actually have to type in Darlington Construction MN to get there. So I don't know if it's tied to anything, but just letting you know.
Would you like the MN put there instead?
Yeah.
Because we could probably add that to give you that distinction. And one of the new features that we've added here, Jim, is when you click on this home tab, you see what pulled up is your website to the right here.
Okay.
Okay. And then it will leave our tabs on the left here. So then you can, whenever you're talking to a client, you can have access to the calculators, which I'm going to go through some examples as well. And then obviously right here, applying for a loan.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do that. I want to click on the term calculator, and I want to go through what would you say is the average loan request amount?
Probably 10.
10,000?
Yeah.
Okay, so I put in 10,000 and I hit enter. You can put in any amount up here, 5,000, 10,000, 15, all the way up to 25. And basically what you're going to see here, there's two different tables. The top table with 4 columns in it here is the installment loan from 6 to 60 months that will be offered to the homeowner. Okay. And you see the columns from left to right are the best credit worthy to the most challenged credit. If you want to look at it as A, B, C, and D credit, that's fine.
Yeah.
But from left to right, best credit worthy to challenge credit, you're really just quoting a range.
Yeah.
Okay, does this fit within their budget? Your payments, and I'll go through a role play example. If you're talking to Mrs. Jones, and Mrs. Jones asks, well, do you have an idea what my payments would be? First and foremost, I want you to be comfortable enough to say, well, we're proud to announce we now have multiple financing and payment options. We have several banks that will be processing your application to extend the best offer that fits you. There's only one credit report, okay?
Yeah.
But you're really quoting a range in this example. So in this example, they're going to get 2 different payment options, either a 36 and a 48 or a 48 and a 60 in this example. And their payments would be anywhere on the 60-month example from 212 to 253, depending on her credit and debt to income.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, on the interest-free, which is deferred, here's the difference that you, or here's the advantage that you'll have, I should say, over your competition. We truly have deferred interest plans, meaning there's no default APR or escalating interest rate back to day one, back to the purchase date. Why do I say that? Is really we treat your better creditworthy clients better than anyone else in the country. Okay?
Cool.
So in this example, you've got a fixed. You noticed here that it took this 10,000 and changed it to 10,199.
Yeah.
There's a fixed approval fee of 199 rather than a percentage, all the way up to 25 grand.
Okay.
So if it's 6,000, account for the 199. Put it in at 6,200.
Yeah.
If it's 10,000, you're going to put it in for 10,199. 15,000, 15,199, and so on. What this will calculate here, 2 different columns. What is it going to take for me to pay this off, Jim, in my 15 months interest free? You can look right here. You can make payments of $679.93 to pay it off in 15 months without paying any interest.
Okay.
Now, there's no harm, no foul if she says, I can't pay this all off in 15 months, Jim. What's going to happen then? What is my interest rate going to be? Right. Number one, the interest rates following the deferment period are anywhere from 8.9 up to 14.9 in most cases. Typically, that's better than the introductory rate by Wells or GE.
Yep.
And it's only, excuse me, it's only on the remaining balance. So say Mrs. Jones only paid off $7,000 on the $10,199. On the remaining $3,200, then and only on the balance will there be an interest rate of, say, 14.9. It is not back to day one. That's a huge benefit.
Yes,
the other thing is our monthly minimum. Now, this is deferred of interest, yes, but not deferred of payment.
Right.
The monthly minimum payment is 1.5%. That's the lowest out there in the country.
Yep.
Most you'll find are from 2.25 all the way up to 3.5. So what that means is on a $10,000 project, someone could still have payments as low as $152.98. That's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Now, let's go through this timeline. A client gets approved, and they get extended 2 different payment options, installment loan. Now, typically what happens is, what we recommend is you prepare your client, let them know that one of your bank representatives is going to be reaching out to them to source the best loan that fits them.
Okay.
Because now you're a company of choice. Okay, we don't want them intimidated. This is, like I said, a hand-holding, much more personal service type service. And we're going to explain and go through the terms and conditions with them on each loan approval, whether it's interest-free or an installment loan. So we're going to talk to Mrs. Jones and let her know, here are the terms and the conditions. But most importantly, we start with some security questions with her, just to ensure that she was the one that was applying through your link.
Okay.
Because now you're embedded in our software. So we confirm that with the homeowner. Mrs. Jones, you did apply through Darlington Construction, Minnesota. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. I'm going to review some of the terms and conditions for your loan approvals. Do you have a few minutes? Yes. Then we go through this with her and we'll explain those terms and conditions with her. Then we say, is this what you prefer? She gives us the go-ahead. We send an email right then to her that she can open in her email and click and accept that loan approval right in her email.
Cool.
You're notified two ways. You're notified in your back office, which I'm going to show you an example. And you also get an email that your client was approved. Okay? At that point, you're funded on Fridays. Now, they need about 48 hours to fund. Being today is Thursday, you wouldn't get funded tomorrow. It would be next week. It'd be next Friday.
Yep.
Okay? Now, this funds you directly, Jim. And it will fund you in its entirety, regardless of their credit. So even on the worst credit, or I should say the challenge credit, let's be kind, but even on the challenge credit approvals, you're funded 100%. There's no discount retained. The discounts are built into the payment and into the borrower's payment.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, here's the difference. If she's approved for interest-free, and we know that she's a 680 credit score or better, that will qualify for interest-free up to 18 months. Now, with this, the same conversation takes place. Mrs. Jones, I understand you just applied for a loan for a home improvement with Darlington Construction, Minnesota. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, so you are approved for the amount of $10,199. And we do have an approval for 15 months interest-free. Now, is this of interest to you? Well, of course, and then we go through the other conditions with her on what her interest rate will be following the deferred period. Okay? With that, when she says, yes, this is the one I want for Darlington Construction. Okay. We send her an email. She can accept it right then as well. That executes the funding. But now, in this case, it takes 5 to 7 days, Jim, to fund the account information, the funding, and in some cases a card, because this is a line of credit, will be sent to the homeowner. Okay? So in 5 to 7 business days, they have this. Now, they can pay you in full once they have it, but what we require is they pay you at least 50% of the funds within 24 hours of receipt of funds.
Okay.
Okay? So you can still do the half down, half upon completion, however you want to do this. Okay? So it's a scheduling issue.
Do it on a smaller projects. They typically do 50-50, 50 now and then 50 on completion. So
there you go. Okay. Any questions about either one of these two?
No, I don't think so. Oh, yeah?
All right. Now let's go into the next positive phase. Say Mrs. Jones says she got declined for interest-free. Say that she did get a payment option up here, but she says, wow, Jim, that's pretty steep. Is there any way, or is there any other option for me with a lower payment? That's where this comes into play, this project loan calculator.
Okay.
You click on this, and you're going to see two different tables here as well. Now let's put in, we said 10,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make it 11, and I'm going to explain why. Now I hit enter. Now I want to look at the difference here. On the term loan, you see where the payments are. Even the best option at 60 months was 212 to 253.
Yep.
Over here, she's got options as low as 86 to 122.
Wow.
If she chooses. Here's the difference. You've got on the two different tables, you can do any unsecured option up to 7,500 and up to 10 years. Excuse me. Your competition doesn't have this.
No.
And look at the rates.
Yeah.
And if you look at this, the reason why I made this 11,000, that is the closing cost. Okay. That is called an origination fee, and the issuing bank gives you the ability to finance this. So when I built this in, you can go back to Mrs. Jones and say, unfortunately, you didn't get an interest-free. I know you want a lower payment. I'm going to show you another program that goes way beyond 60 months, and you can choose your payment. And of course, most of them will say, that's great. Can I see what they look like? Yep. At that point, she can look at any one of these three columns that fit her best. She can choose the 10-year line, 130 to 161. She can choose the 15-year line, 100 to 134. Or she can even go out to 20 years, $86 to 122. Now, why would this vary? If you cut this right in half, excuse me, most of the people from 650 and above in credit score are most likely going to get one of these three payments.
Okay.
Those on the lower half of the 600s, Jim, are going to get one of these three payments.
Okay.
Okay, that's the logic here. Now, I have some clients, some merchants, contractors right now, they start at this end, and they say your payment will be no higher than blank.
Mm-hmm.
Could be as low as this, depending on your credit and debt to income. Because they want to know right out of the gate, does this high payment fit their budget? Here's what to account for, the 10%. If it's 5,000, make it 5,500.
Yeah.
If it's 6,000, 6,600. In this case, 10,000, we added $1,000. 11,000, it's built into their payment, a low rate. It's less than 1% a year.
Yeah.
And
I was
86.
I was with another company, and they used EnterBank.
Yep.
You're familiar with them?
Sure am.
Okay, and they would backdate, their interest if you missed, if you had $1 outstanding after the term and all that stuff. And
sure.
So this is pretty cool.
Well, not only that, they charged you a percentage on that approval.
7 to 15%. Yeah.
7 to 15%.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, on this funding, following a 10-day title search, this is all about scheduling, Jim.
Okay.
So you may be 12 to 14 days, 2 weeks away from money.
Okay.
Okay. However, what do you make? You're going to get an invoice for the 1,000. We don't make the homeowner responsible to pay the closing costs back if they can finance it. You're going to get all 11,000 here, Jim. Then you're going to get an invoice that requests, can you pay the 1,000 in 15 days? Most just pay it immediately because they just got paid in full.
Yep.
Now, what's your net here? 100%.
Yep.
We don't charge any percentages. You still have low interest rates to offer and extended terms and options. You are now a company of options to offer. So this is really all you have to account for. Remember the 10% to extend the term and get really low payments. And keep in mind, the first approval that typically comes through are these installment loans. These guys are the quickest to reply. They can reply within an hour, could be 24 hours. If you're in the home and it's non-banking hours, if it's a Saturday, you're not going to have an answer till Monday.
Yep.
If it's 8 o'clock at night, it's going to be the next morning. Okay? The biggest advantage here is, again, you got several banks, 9 different banks with an opportunity for that homeowner.
Cool.
You're going to capture at least 40% more business by just sharing additional options with them. And if they are a payment buyer, which 86% of the public is, there was a Wall Street Journal report that said 86% of the public on any item over $1,500 wants a payment. Well, if that's the case, we're catering to them. Share the payment options and let them choose. Now, again, you're about 2 weeks away from money here, but if it's unsecured under $7,500, let's put a smaller amount in here. Let's say it was a $6,000 job. At 10% would be $6,600. I hit enter. You got all new numbers down here.
Yeah.
Because the only thing that works against someone up here, even though it's unsecured or secured, if they already have a second on their home, they can't get approved for this.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. So their only option would be unsecured. But again, the max for unsecured for extended terms up to 10 years is under $7,500.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
So a window. What's that?
Could a husband apply for $7,500 and a wife apply for $7,500?
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I've been asked this as well. Let's go through one other scenario here. Say they applied for 10 over here, and they only got approved for $5,000 on interest-free.
Okay.
Now you're short 5. This is where combining the loans can still benefit. I put the 5 in over here, make it $5,500. Add the 10%, excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they can pick up unsecured, stretch out the payment as low as $68, out 10 years, unsecured, no appraisal, no equity required, and combine it with the $5,000 interest-free that they just were approved for.
Yeah.
Let me show you what this looks like. Now, the dashboard and what this will look like. Now, yours is going to be empty. Now, I'm going to send this to you in an email following this.
Okay.
And obviously, it's going to have your name up here. This one here is EcoView Windows up in Indiana.
Okay.
But this will have Darlington Construction MN up here.
Okay.
And you'll see these icons here. This magnifying glass means search apps. You can manage all your accounts. You can also print out tools and reports. If you're in the spring and you wanted to remember how many approvals that you had back in December, you could check that and print it out. But here, as an example, you click on this particular tab right here in the middle, search applications. And when you click on this, it'll open this up. It's going to show other action bars here, icons. We've assigned a loan number to that client. It'll show the status. In this case, approved, approved, loan funded, funded. The date and the time that they put this in. This one was put in at 11:33 p.m. This was just before midnight. And then the name of your applicant. Now, you click on this hammer on the left, and it's also going to show you the installment loan offers are going to show up on the right here. And as you see, 2 different payment options here. They got a 48 and a 36-month installment loan. More importantly, over here, you're going to see more detailed notes. Notes from the banks. Now, like on this, here's a little acronym, LM to CB. Now, they just got lazy. That basically means left message to call back. We were trying to reach them. That's why it's important to share with that homeowner. You know, one of our bank representatives is going to try to reach you to go through some loan offers with you and the terms and conditions. You may have more than one offer. In this case, This client was also approved. You saw 2 different loan offers, but they were also approved for 15 months interest-free. Up to December of 2014, then their interest rate, 14.9. Now, just to show you the disparity in this, because I just got off doing another training for a contractor that said that his major competition are these contractors that work for Lowe's and Home Depot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, look at the fine print. Those are typically underwritten by Citi or Wells Fargo. Their introductory rate's as high as 22%. Their default APR is 29. And just like you brought up with Interbank, Jim, they go back to day 1 too. We don't do that. As you see, 14.9 after a year and 3 months, that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
And it's only on the balance. So, of course, what do you think they selected? They wanted the sexy product. But what I'm going to send you following this is your access to your own dashboard. You've got a username and a password. So as your applicants start applying, you can see the status and what's happening in there. There may be a call to action back here. You may see in the notes, as an example, let's click on one here. It may say back here, WSF eligible, or need a co-applicant, or some other call to action. Oh, partial approval. You know, is WSF or project eligible to pick up the remainder? So there's going to be a lot more information here that'll give you some direction on whatever you can do to reach that target amount.
Okay.
Okay. Now let me show you what the loan application. See this here on apply for a loan. What comes up, there's a little detailed explanation to the homeowner for you. E-residential financing, it's going to say what, just a little snippet of the options that are ahead for them, A, B, C, and D. So those that have some resignation, well, I don't know how strong my credit is, this should encourage them to still apply.
Yeah.
It also gives a direct line to the loan facilitator. We want your homeowner to be engaged.
Yeah.
You mean I'm going to get multiple offers and it's only on one application? Yes. They can call us directly. They can get a live loan facilitator and say, I just applied. And work through those details as well and help you. Now, if you click on apply for a loan, you're going to get 4 pre-qualifying boxes here. I'm 18 years of age or older. I'm currently employed and or have proof of income. They could be on retirement income.
Okay.
Their income needs to be over $1,800 a month, though.
Okay.
Okay, even on retirement income. And then they have not declared bankruptcy in the past 2 years. You click these 4 boxes, this tab pops up, continue to application. You click on this, and here you are. Your name is in here, organization name, Darlington Construction.
And we can leave everything at Darlington Construction, except for when we're referencing like a website or something like that.
That is correct.
Because we do go by Darlington Construction, but when it comes to the internet, we just have to have that MS. So in this instance, we could leave it at Darlington Construction, because we don't tell people when we sit down with them, hi, I'm from Darlington Construction, Minnesota. We just tell them we're from, Darlington Construction. So, okay.
That works. Now, here's where you put in the loan amount, the requested amount. Then you got borrower, co-borrower. You got husband and wife that are both income earners. It's going to help their profile to get what? To get some more offers.
Yep.
So even if one has less than perfect credit compared to the primary, that's fine. It's the income that's going to help.
Yep.
Because debt to income is a big factor. And just like you brought up, now once they fill this out, basic information on the left, and if there's a question here that doesn't apply to them, like previous employer, and it doesn't apply for whatever reason, just put in none, N-O-N-E.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? And then down here, they just click submit, And a thank you screen will pop up, or in this case, it says, please enter a value if you're missing something in one of the fields. And it'll just tell them where to go. Now, the thank you screen, that's where it all starts. Now, within an hour to 24 hours, they're going to be contacted and start getting some offers. We start going through the details and the conditions of those loan approvals with them. We disclose all of this for you, and they can do everything electronically. You're not dealing with any documents. Unless, in some cases, Jim, the issuing bank on some of these project extended term loans, the ones with the low rates that you build in the 10%, they may ask you for some invoice of completion.
Okay, yeah, we're very familiar with that.
Okay, and that's all. And the directions will be specific to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now keep in mind, 10 to 14 days for funding on this one, 3 to 5 days funding on the unsecured.
Okay.
Okay. Funds on Fridays. They really need about 48 hours. If it's Wednesday, depending on the time of the day, you may not get it that Friday. That's 2 days later. It may be the following Friday. So just keep that in mind. And then here, 5 to 7 days, and this funding goes to the borrower. What I recommend is you have, upon your financing approval and account information and funding, invoice amount of blank is to be paid to Darlington Construction, MN. Your satisfaction is our priority. Something like that. You may want to add something to one of your estimates or invoices as well, just to help solidify. Now, they've done this verbally, and they've done this online. They've agreed to the terms and conditions, and they've agreed that they've just been approved for Darlington Construction. However, it always helps to have additional information so they understand as well.
Yeah.
Okay? But you're golden. The other two things I was going to share with you, everything I just spoke about on each phase of these programs, we call this the managing approval and timeline expectation, the fixed $199 fee for interest-free only, okay, 680 credit scores and up, 6 to 18 months, no prepayment penalties. Here, for those with less than perfect credit, excuse me. Wow. Sorry about that. But
we're
for
all
those
just
with less
over that.
Yeah, for less than perfect credit, 2 different payment options. Funds 100% funding to your business by ACH on Friday. Additional fees and interest may be built into the credit challenge borrower's payment.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you've got extended term up to 10 years. Excuse me. Up to 7,500. Funds in 3 to 5 days, Jim.
Yeah.
And then up to 20 years. I'm going to send both of these to you. I have another one as well. Everything I just spoke about, from clicking on the apply for a loan link, inputting a target amount, every little aspect of this is explained on this particular form. The fixed approval fee, 680 FICO score. More importantly, what I want to show you at the bottom here, this will go through all the details for the extended term as well, what to expect, and right here, you may call the 800 line and talk to a loan facilitator directly.
Okay.
Okay. And then obviously the reasons for decline are the logical ones. They're in bankruptcy. They have garnishments, judgments against them. Recent decline in their credit scores could be a big factor as well. If they're starting to spiral downward and they've got a high frequency of 30-day lates, they could get declined. The logic still applies here. But you should see a dramatic increase in approvals just by sharing more options. Now, like I said, I did record this, so I'm going to send this to your email. Okay, so you can have this to refer back to. And any new field reps that you add or salesmen that you add as well, they can go back and watch this as well. Okay. And then you'll see the 2 attachments that I'm going to send you, as well as your back office access with your username and your password so you can get to your own dashboard. Okay. But any other questions? Anything I missed here?
I have one question, but it doesn't probably pertain to you. I've got one client that we've been trying to secure financing for.
Yep.
But the project is $70,000.
Oh, wow.
So do you guys, there's something that you know of or can be?
Have they been declined?
No, they have not. They just aren't willing to do what the banks want them to do.
Okay.
So they've actually been approved, but and also the banks won't lend them the whole amount because the value of the house, they don't think that the value, the appraisal will come in at what they determine it needs to come in order to fund it.
Let me talk about that a little bit more.
She has to put her car up and stuff like that as collateral.
Oh, wow.
And her house up, to make it work. And
well, like I said, there's no appraisal. Keep this in mind. Required. But again, we're capped right now at 25. But if they apply and they have strong credit, just like I mentioned before, they could get an interest-free. Say they got 20 grand here, and then they got another. They can go for another 25 over here. We got
a black screen here. Hold on a second. Yeah, we got a black screen here for some reason. I don't know if I was lazy and didn't do something or.
Uh-oh.
Maybe I didn't pay my electric bill or something. I don't know. It just
no, you shouldn't. No, it says it's still being shared, so.
Yeah, no, but it's just like.
We could have timed out. I'm not sure. But basically, keep that in mind. We encourage them to apply. We may get a couple other loan offers for them that'll help them for less out of pocket again. But at least we can help get to that target point. A $70,000 job is tough for us. I mean, obviously, even combining 2 $25,000 ones, if they were approved for the max, would only give them 50.
Yeah.
With us. But if they already have a partial approval, let's see what we can get them approved for.
Okay.
Sound
so
good?
Maybe we run her through you guys for 25, and then
and see what happens.
And then the bank, maybe then the bank does, because she really wants to do this in the worst way. She's going to stay in the house forever. It's a single gal. She's got great credit. She's got great income. She's really steady, no lates, nothing. The real issue is she wants to put a second story on an 800 square foot house. And it just isn't going to appraise for what, it's not going to appraise for, she owes 50, so it's not going to appraise for 130 when it's done. But she doesn't care because she's going to live in it until she dies. She's going to
stay there.
Yeah.
Let me assist you with her, and we'll help get her application in, and let's see what happens.
Cool.
Okay?
I'll call her tonight, because that's...
Call her tonight.
That'd be a nice project.
If you can't reach me, you can obviously reach Chris. He'll help you go through the application process. And then again, just remember what we said. I'm going to be sending this all to you.
Okay.
Even the 2 attachments, and that'll help. But I look forward to working with you.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is... we're moving forward. We're going to be doing $5 million next year, and this is going to be a big help for us.
Man, I'm real excited. I'm real excited to hear that, Jim.
And what's your direct line, Craig?
It's going to be in my email. You'll see my contact information when I send the back office and these 2 attachments for you. Plus, you're also going to get the replay of this link.
Yep.
Okay?
All righty.
Well, have a great evening. I look forward to working with you.
Get over that cold. Get over that cold.
I will. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All righty.
Bye.